Hello students. In the previous class we have discussed about the solubility, right? What is the solubility and the solubility of solids in liquids. Okay, solubility of solids in liquids. Okay, so in the solubility of the liquids we have seen four parameters that will going to be effect on the solubility of the solids into the liquids. Okay, so what are the parameters that we have discussed in the last class is that one, the nature of solute, and the second one is the nature of solvent, and third one is the effect of temperature, and fourth one is the effect of pressure. Okay, so there it is, the nature of solute and solvents are very important, because the solids, whatever the polar solids, dissolves into the polar solvents. Okay, similarly the non-polar solids dissolves into the non-polar solvents. Okay, so these are the things we have discussed in last class, and now in the today's class we are going to start the new concept, that is the solubility of a gas in a liquid. Solubility of a gas in a liquid. Okay, so instead of the solid, now here we are talking about the solubility of the gas. Okay, so that means with this you can understand that what is this, the liquid is a solvent. Here you can say that the liquid is a solvent. Okay, and what is the gas? The gas is nothing but a solute. Okay, because you are dissolving the gas into a liquid. Okay, that means obviously the liquid quantity is more, so that gas quantity is a small one. Okay, so the small quantity, whatever it is in the solution, you can say it as a solute, and the large quantity you can say it as a solvent. Okay, and when you come to this, the solubility of a gas in a liquid is that, you know very well that many gases dissolves into the water. Many gases dissolves into the water. Okay, so one of the best example is that oxygen, right? So oxygen can also dissolves into the water, and that is the reason why most of the aquatic aquatic life means whatever that animals they present in the water, they can take that dissolved oxygen and they can survive. Okay, but come to the solubility, the amount of the solubility of oxygen into the water is very small. It is a very small. Okay, so why? Because is that very simple. You know that the effect of solute and the effect of solvent, right? Okay, so what is this solute? The solute is a oxygen. The solute is oxygen, right? Okay, what is the solute here? The solute is oxygen. What is the solvent? The solvent is water, right? Okay, so come to here, the oxygen, is it a polar one, non-polar one? Generally the oxygen is a non-polar, right? Come to the water, it is a polar one. Okay, so you see the difference here. So because of the non-polarity of the oxygen, that can dissolve very little extent into the water, Okay, but in the solid case, only the polars can dissolve into the polar. The polar cannot dissolve into the non-polar. Okay, or else the non-polar can only dissolve into the, when you come to the solids in liquids. The difference I am telling, you have to be very careful here. Okay, so in case of the solids in the liquids, only the non-polar can dissolve into the non-polar, right? In the non-polar, but cannot dissolve into the polar one. Okay, they cannot dissolve into the polar solvents. Okay, but here look at here, even though oxygen is a non-polar, it can dissolve little extent into the polar solvent. Okay, very similar to that. Next you take a HCl gas. HCl is a gas. Okay, and this HCl is a polar one. The HCl is a polar one, and it can dissolve into the water very large extent. It can dissolve in a large extent. Large extent means the HCl dissolves more. HCl dissolves more into the water, whereas the oxygen dissolves very little amount into the water. That means the less extent, because the oxygen is a non-polar one, so that its solubility is comparatively less. But it is, when you come to the solids, it is totally different. The non-polars cannot dissolve into the polar solvents, but here it is dissolving, but the amount of the dissolving is less. The amount of dissolving is less. Okay, similarly, even the HCl also, even though it is a polar, it can dissolve into the non-polar and dissolves in non-polar solvents, liquid like cyclohexane. Cyclohexane is a non-polar solvent. Even though HCl is a polar, it can dissolve little extent into the cyclohexane, non-polar solvents. Okay, so that means here, in case of gases, solubility of the gases in liquids, you cannot go with a thumb rule. You cannot go with a thumb rule like this. Okay, like solids into the liquids. Okay, so what is the thumb rule? The thumb rule is that the non-polar dissolves into the non-polar, polar dissolves into the polar, right? Okay, and the non-polar cannot dissolve into the polar, and similarly the polar cannot be dissolved into the non-polar. Okay, there it is a thumb rule, but here it is not like that. Okay, here the polar can dissolve into the polar one and into the non-polar solvents. Okay, similarly the non-polar solvents dissolves into the non-polar and similarly into the polar solvents. Okay, but the extent is different. How much extent is different? Okay, right? So that is the reason why in this topic, in this, the solubility of the gases into the liquids, we are going to be avoid the nature of the solute and the nature of the solvent. Nature of solute and nature of solvent. Okay, of course these are important to understand that how much extent they can be dissolved. Okay, but here there is no a proper thumb rule, right? Okay, so that we are going to be avoid the two factors. One is, what is that? One is the two factors that we are going to be avoid, that the nature of solute, and the second one is the nature of solvent. Okay, so these two things we are going to be avoid. Okay, so you know that why I have been avoided. Okay, and what about the two factors? The remaining two factors is that the effect of temperature and effect of pressure. Okay, and come to the gases, the pressure plays really a major role. Pressure plays the really major role than that of the temperature. Okay, of course temperature also plays the crucial role, but the pressure plays really a major role. Okay, so that is the reason why in this solubility of gases into the liquids, we are going to read the, especially we are going to be focused on the effect of the pressure onto the solubility of gases. Okay, because the pressure roles really a vital role, or plays a crucial role to absorb the or dissolve the gases into the liquid solutions. Okay, the best example is the soda. Generally you can buy outside that soda, right? Okay, and what is the main criteria in that is that they are dissolving the gases by applying the pressure. Okay, you take some Coca-Cola or Thumbs Up or any cool drinks, or a soda bottle, right? Okay, so what is the thing, what is there inside that is that there is a special gas. Okay, what is that gas? The gas is mostly a carbon dioxide. It is a A carbon dioxide. Okay, so they dissolve that carbon dioxide, large amount of the carbon dioxide into that solution. Okay, how they have increased that concentration of the carbon dioxide into the solution is that by applying the large amount of the pressure. By applying the large amount of pressure. That means what is happening when they increases the pressure, so the amount of gas is increasing, the solubility of the gas is increasing into the liquids. Okay, so the best examples in a daily life, that Coca-Cola or Thumbs Up or any cool drinks and along with the soda bottles. Okay, how it can be increases is that, so this criteria, what is that criteria? What I said, generally the solubility of the gases increases, the solubility of the gases increases with increasing the pressure, okay. Who observed this first is that is the Henry. Okay, so Henry was the first to give the, of course many people observed, but Henry gave a quantitative relation between the pressure and the solubility of a gas into a solvent. Okay, and which is known as a Henry's law, Okay, and what he said is that the last what it states that is that at a particular temperature, the solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure of that gas present above the surface of the liquid or solution. Above the partial pressure of the gas present above the surface or liquid of the solution. Okay, so that means you see here the picture. So here the weight is little, but after that what is happened here, it is a piston and he kept some weight, and after that what he did, he increases the weight. Okay, so then what will happen, when you increases the weight, the piston will go in this direction. Okay, okay, and when it is come close, what will happen, the pressure inside that will be increases. Okay, the pressure increases. Okay, so how you are saying the pressure increases? Obviously the volume decreasing, so that whatever that gas molecules present in the vessel will be in the, whatever that the volume decreases, so that obviously the molecules that are present, the gas present into the vessel, that will increases the pressure, Okay, and you know that what is the partial pressure? Okay, how a gas can shows the pressure? Okay, here what is the term? That is, the solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas present above the surface of the liquid, or solution. Suppose you assume that this is a liquid surface, down one, and this is above this one is a gas surface. Okay, so that means the solubility depends upon the pressure which is exerted by this gas, Okay, so how it can exert the pressure is that it is very simple. Whatever that pressure, because of the molecules, suppose this is a vessel and you assume that there is a piston here, and you assume it has a liquid portion, and these are the gas molecules, Okay, and you know that how a gas molecules create the pressure is that generally the gas molecules can go and hit the walls of the containers, Okay, and during that it can create some pressure. Okay, similarly, not only the container walls or vessel walls, it can also create some pressure on the surface of the water, because they also come in this direction and hit here. Okay, so during that they can also create some pressure on the surface, of the water. Okay, so whenever this pressure increases, the surface molecules pressure increases, then the solubility increases, Okay, so that is what he has observed and quantitatively reported. Okay, but later that he has given a definition for the Henry's law, that is he modified, and he has given is that the solubility of a particular gas. Okay, so I'll explain in my notes. Okay, so what is the definition here is that, what is the Henry's law is that, most commonly used from Henry's law, what it states is that the partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase is proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. The partial pressure of a gas in vapor phase is proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. Okay, of course what he said, with increasing the partial pressure of the gas, the solubility increases, and at the same time he has also given that, but how much vapor pressure can be present. Okay, so that means what I said just now. So the solubility, it depends upon the partial pressure of this gas, okay, but how much partial pressure will be there here, how much the partial pressure of the gas here is that, so that is the partial pressure of this gas in the vapor phase, it is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that gas that is in the solution. Okay, so that means whatever that gas present here, the mole fraction, it is in the solution. Okay, so this is the partial pressure of the gas in the vapor phase. Okay, here in the vapor phase, how much partial pressure is there, that will depends upon the mole fraction of that gas into the solution, okay, right. So finally what he concluded is that, what is the Henry's law? What is the Henry's law is that you have to write the partial pressure of the gas in the vapor phase is proportional to the mole fraction, or directly proportional to the mole fraction of that gas in the solution. You should not write like this. Okay, most of the people what they will do is that, so what is the Henry's law? When they ask like this, what they write is that the partial pressure of the gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that gas. So what is this? Here it is very important, the partial pressure of that gas in the vapor phase. Vapor phase means here it is in the vapor phase. So that partial pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that gas in this solution, okay, this is very, very important. Okay, so what is that? Here you can write the partial pressure of the gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction of that gas. Okay, but here when you remove this directly proportional, you need a constant, that is the KH into mole fraction of a gas. Okay, so what is this KH? Is nothing but it is a constant, that is a Henry's law constant. What is that? It is the Henry's law constant. Okay, so what you have to write when you ask the Henry's law, it is nothing but the partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. That you have to write. Okay, so what is this? This KH is nothing but it is a Henry's law constant. Okay, and in some cases they'll also express, instead of the mole fraction, they'll also express with the C. So what is the C? The capital C is nothing but the solubility. Okay, so what is that? The partial pressure of the gas, that means is directly proportional to the solubility of the gas. That means the partial pressure increases. When the partial pressure increases, the solubility increases. Don't write capital S. Here you write the capital C. Capital C is a solubility. Okay, so what is this KH? KH is nothing but a Henry's law constant. Okay, yes. And the equation 1 and 2. What is the equation 1 and 2? The equation 1 and 2 is that, here is the equation 1. One is related with the mole fraction, another one is related to the solubility, another related to the solubility. These will depends on which equation we have to use, is that depends upon the units of kh, units of kh. Okay, if the units of kh is different related to the mole fraction, we have to use the mole fraction equation, and if it is related to the solubility, then you have to use the solubility. Okay, but most cases we will use the mole fraction relation only, mole fraction relation only. Okay, and here the kh, this kh has some significance, the kh has some significance. What is the significance of kh? You write something, no heading also, if you want, write that significance. Significance of kh, that is the Henry's law constant. Okay, and generally we will neglect the constants, right, because we are not going to be worried, but here this constant has a very good significance, it has a very good significance. Okay, so what is that, is that generally different gases, generally here the different gases, different kh values, generally the different gases have different kh values at the same temperature, different kh values, right? Okay, and this suggests that the kh is a function of the nature of the gas. Okay, అవునా కదా? సో ప్రతి గ్యాస్ కి ఒక్కొక్క different kh value ఉంటుంది. That means it is depending upon the nature of the gas, it is depending upon the nature of the gas. Okay, so ఒక్కొక్క గ్యాస్ కి ఒక్కొక్క వాల్యూ ఉంటుందంటే it is depending on gas only, right? Okay, so that from this it can be seen that the kh values for the both nitrogen and oxygen increases with increase in the one second. So before going to this down point, we can go back to the first point. Okay, what is the first point? So it is obvious from the equation 2, or you go with the equation 1 and equation 2. What is that equation? That is the partial pressure is directly proportional to the kh into the mole fraction, kh into the mole fraction. Okay, so that means if the kh value increases, the value increases, okay, at a given pressure, that higher the value of kh at a given pressure, then the lower is the solubility of the gas, lower is the solubility of the gas. Okay, so that means here you know that the partial pressure of a particular gas, it is equal to kh into the solubility, kh into the solubility. Okay, so that means if the partial pressure is constant, okay, you assume that it is a constant, and now what is happening, the constant is equal to some kh into c. Okay, so that means if the kh value increases, obviously the c value decreases. Okay, because the value is same, the value must be same. Okay, pv is equal some constant, you learned in the Boyle's law. Okay, so when the pressure increases, volume decreases. Okay, here is also same thing, if the kh value increases, the solubility decreases. If the kh value decreases, then the solubility increases. Okay, so that means you can say that the kh value again is inversely proportional to the solubility of the gas. Okay, ఓకే, మీరు ఇది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి అనమాట. ద కేహెచ్ వాల్యూ కనుక ఎక్కువ ఉంది అనుకోండి కంపేర్ టు ద అనదర్ గ్యాస్, దెన్ ఇట్స్ సాల్యుబిలిటీ ఈజ్ లెస్, ఇట్స్ సాల్యుబిలిటీ ఈజ్ less. Okay, right. So that here we are, what we are saying from that equation, higher the value of the kh at a given pressure, the lower is the solubility of the gas into the liquid. Okay, and already I said different gases has a different kh value, so that the kh value is nothing but it is a function of the nature of the gas. Okay, and there is a one experiment they have conducted. In that, what they have been seen is that it can be seen that the kh values for both nitrogen and oxygen increases with increase in the temperature. Okay, with a increase in the temperature, that indicating that the solubility of the gases, the solubility of the gases decreases. Sorry, so that indicating that the solubility of the gases increases with decrease of the temperature. Okay, what it is here, it is a sentence is little bit confusing. What is that? The nitrogen and oxygen KH values are increasing with increasing the temperature. That means in the oppositely, with decreasing the temperature, the KH values also decreases. Okay, so with decreasing the temperature, the KH values decreasing means obviously the solubility of the gases increases. The solubility of the gases increases. Okay, so it is due to this reason that aquatic species are more comfortable in cold waters rather than in the warm waters. Okay, are you clear about this? Generally, the aquatic life are more comfortable in the cold conditions rather than in the hot conditions, because in the hot conditions the solubility of the oxygen is less. Okay, and whereas in the cold conditions the solubility of the oxygen into the water is more, so that when it dissolves more, it takes more oxygen and they are more comfortable. Okay, so this is the Henry's law constant significance, the significance of Henry's law constant. Okay, yeah, you see here, you see some values also there, right? There is a table, Henry's law constant of some selected gases into the water. Okay, so you see here helium, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen and oxygen. Okay, and there are at different temperatures. And what is the KH values? You see here the KH value helium is this much. Okay, so it is very high compared to the hydrogen. Okay, so that means hydrogen is more soluble, it can dissolve more compared to the helium. And come to the nitrogen, at the same temperature it is 76, and come to the oxygen it is only 34. Okay, so that means compared to the nitrogen, oxygen dissolves more. Okay, and again at the same temperature, you see here KH value, argon, carbon dioxide, formaldehyde, methane and vinyl chloride, right? And here argon is a 40.3, carbon dioxide is 1.67, and formaldehyde is in the 10 to the power of minus 5. So that when you look at these three, this value is very small, so that this gas dissolves very high compared to the carbon dioxide and argon. Okay, so with this KH values you can understand that what can dissolve more. Okay, and this is nothing but the Henry's law and the importance and the significance of Henry's law constant. Okay, of course there are some applications of Henry's law. It is not that much of important, but you need to understand that in manufacture of soft drinks, you know that soft drinks or soda, they'll pass this carbon dioxide at high pressures to increase its solubility. That is one of the best examples in your daily life. Okay, and second one is the scuba divers means generally the people who will go for the diving into the seawater. Okay, ఈతకు వెళ్తారు కదా, diving into the seawater. Okay, so those scuba divers, you know that when they go for the diving, they will take some oxygen cylinders, right? They'll carry with some oxygen cylinders. Okay, so just directly what I am telling is that they'll carry the oxygen cylinders. Okay, because in the downside, when you go down to the sea, what will happen? The pressure increases. Okay, and the availability of the oxygen is less, so that they can carry the oxygen cylinders. Okay, but what will happen, what is the problem is that you know that when you go from surface of the sea to the downside, the pressure increases. అవునా కదా, పైనుంచి కిందికి వెళ్తున్న కొద్ది ఏమవుతుంది, obviously the pressure will be increases on your body. Okay, you want to see many films also there. Okay, and when the pressure increases in your body, what will happen? When you are inhaling the oxygen, right, and that oxygen solubility increases. The oxygen solubility increases into the blood. Okay, so that means because of the high pressure on your body, ఆక్సిజన్ సాల్యుబిలిటీ ఏమవుతుంది, మన బ్లడ్ లోపల బాగా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, సో విత్ దట్ నో ప్రాబ్లం. ఓకే, బట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఈస్ దట్ ఇఫ్ హీ కమ్స్ అవుట్ సడన్లీ ఫ్రమ్ ద sea, from the down of the sea, ఓకే. సో సి లోపల నుంచి కనుక అతను ఒకేసారి బయటికి వచ్చాడు అనుకోండి. ఓకే, దెన్ వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్ ఈజ్ దట్ whenever he come back, suddenly the pressure drops, అవునా కదా. సో when the pressure drops, automatically what will happen, whatever the dissolved oxygen in the body, the dissolved oxygen into the body, okay, earlier the solubility is more, so that there is a more amount of the oxygen in your body, okay. And when you come out, what will happen, the oxygen suddenly come out from the blood, okay. And that is the reason why what will happen, it creates some kind of bubbles in the blood, bubbles into the blood, అవునా కదా. ఆల్రెడీ బ్లడ్ లోపల ఉన్న ఆక్సిజన్ ఏమైంది, మీరు బయటికి రావగానే అక్కడ బ్లడ్ల నుంచి బయటికి వచ్చేస్తుంది. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఇట్ క్రియేట్ సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ బబుల్స్ ఇన్ ద పాసేజ్ ఆఫ్ ద బ్లడ్. సో బ్లడ్ కనుక వెళ్ళే ప్యాసేజ్లో ఒక బబుల్స్ని క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంది అన్నమాట, ఓకే. అండ్ దోస్ bubbles are very very dangerous, okay. So to avoid that one, what they will do is that they will also mix some amount of the helium, ఎందుకంటే even at high pressures also the helium solubility is less, okay. That means when you go inside to the sea, also inside to the sea, even the pressure increases, though the solubility of the helium is very very less, okay. So that is the reason they'll carry with some helium, okay. Not only that cylinder contains nitrogen and oxygen, it also contains some amount of the helium, okay. And the third one is that you read these, you can understand very easily, but you, right. And what is the third one is that at high altitudes the partial pressure of the oxygen is very very less, okay. You know that when the people are climbing some hills like Everest, okay, so they feel some nausea, and there the temperature is also very very cool, okay. So what is happen, when you go to the higher altitudes, the availability of the oxygen is less, and at the same time the pressure is also less, the partial pressure is also less, okay. So that means even if you have a oxygen cylinder, even when you inhale, because of the low pressures, after inhaling also the amount of the absorption or the solubility of that oxygen is very very less into your body, ఓకే. సో ఇందాకనేమో ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది హై ప్రెషర్లో, ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది, హయ్యర్ ఆల్టిట్యూడ్స్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ప్రెషర్స్ అనేది చాలా తక్కువ ఉండడం వల్ల ఈవెన్ మనం ఆక్సిజన్ తీసుకున్నా కూడా దాని యొక్క సాల్యుబిలిటీ అనేది బ్లడ్ లోపల తక్కువ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. అంటే అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, మనకి రిక్వైర్డ్ ఆక్సిజన్ అనేది మన బాడీకి అందదు. దానివల్ల we feel some symptoms, that is unable to think clearly, and we feel we will become a very weak, and we are unable to think clearly, and some symptoms like anaxia, okay. So these are the applications why we are reading this Henry's law, why it is important, okay. These are the applications, okay. And the last factor that we are going to see is that effect of temperature. Already I said this, the effect of pressure is over. Now it is effect of temperature, okay. So what is this effect of temperature is that, you know that already I have shown in a table, with increasing the temperature the KH values are increasing, that means the solubility going to be decreases, okay. You know that you take that your cool drink in a vessel and you heat that one. So cool drink మీరు ఒక వెజల్లో తీసుకోండి, ఒక బౌల్లో తీసుకోండి, you heat that one. What will happen, you can see that bubbles, plenty of bubbles on the surface, okay. What is that indicates is that whatever that gas dissolves inside that is coming out, okay. So that means the dissolved oxygen is going out, right, okay. So that means the solubility of the gases in liquids most of the cases decreases with the increase in the temperature, oh, that is enough. And reason enti anante, you know that what is the reason is that very simple. Generally you go back, you are dissolving some gas. Suppose there is a soda, suppose you assume that there is a soda bottle and there is some liquid here, and you are passing the carbon dioxide at high pressure, high pressure. Okay, so high pressure you are passing the carbon dioxide means the carbon dioxide will come and will dissolve. Okay, ఈ dissolve అయ్యేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, there may be some condensation, right? There may be a condensation. Condensation means one carbon dioxide will collide with another carbon dioxide and form some kind of liquids. Okay, so it is nothing but a gas to the liquid, gas to liquid condensation process. ఈ condensation process లో ఏంటి, this condensation process, that means here gas temperature is high and that liquid temperature is low. Okay, so that means high to low means ఒక టెంపరేచర్ హై నుంచే లోకి వెళ్తుంది అంటే ఇట్ రిలీజెస్ ద ఎక్సెస్ హీట్, అవునా కదా? ఒక టెంపరేచర్ హై టెంపరేచర్ నుంచే లో టెంపరేచర్స్కి వెళ్తుంది అంటే ఏంటి, దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ రిలీజింగ్ ఇట్స్ ఎక్సెస్ హీట్, అవునా కదా? సో ఈ ఎక్సెస్ హీట్ని రిలీజ్ చేసుకుంటూ అది లిక్విడ్గా కన్వర్ట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట, అంటే ఇక్కడ కండెన్స్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. దట్ మీన్స్ డ్యూరింగ్ దిస్ ప్రాసెస్ ఇట్ రిలీజెస్ ద హీట్, it release heat. Okay, so releasing the heat is nothing but it is the exothermic process. It is nothing but exothermic process. Okay, and in the previous class also you learned, if this process is exothermic, so then with increasing the temperature, thus solubility decreases. Okay, of course these are all don't require that much, only one point is a very important point, is that the solubility of the gases into the liquid decreases with increasing the temperature. This is the point you have to be keep in your mind. Okay, and this is nothing but the solubility of the gases into the liquid, and very important is the Henry's law. Okay, right. And in the next chapter we are going to see the next topic, that is the vapor pressure, and along with that we can also see one problem on the Henry's law constant. Okay.